Hi, I'm Casey, and welcome to Disability Den, a TDC podcast. On this episode, we're pleased to have Kevin Collins, President and CEO of Easter Seals Ontario. Kevin was born with cerebral palsy and uses a walker and scooter to get around. In 1976, he was a provincial Easter Seals ambassador, which at the time was called a Timmy. His message to Easter Seals kids and youth has always been to follow their dreams. Kevin has never let his disability hold him back from anything he does. Welcome to the show, Kevin.
Thanks so much, Casey. So proud to be here.
So, can you describe your journey from a young Easter Seals Timmy to now being president and CEO of the organization?
Absolutely. As you yourself have experienced, being an Easter Seal ambassador is truly a thrill of a lifetime. Being born with disabilities, there's a lot of uncertainties and as to what we can and what we can't do and how we can do it. And so the year as the Easter Seal ambassador really kind of gives you that opportunity to learn about yourself and learn your strengths and um, recognizing the incredible amount of supporters, donors, volunteers, and friends that will support you in all your endeavors. Getting a chance, as you know, at the Conn Smythe Sports Celebrity Dinner, for me, at the age of 12, speaking in front of 1,200 people, having Whipper Billy Watson, who was our main spokesperson at the time, carry me on his shoulders through that crowd to the head table. Just moments that you cherish and remember forever. And through that whole time, you know, your confidence level gets stronger, gets built. And, the ability to speak with people, through thanking them, through guiding them with things that they want to do to help support, and basically becoming your friend. So I would honestly say that um, that was probably the starting point for me, that has allowed me to be where I am today as the president and CEO of Easter Seals. Um, as you know, and very much like yourself, I'm incredibly passionate about this organization. I truly know the impact and difference that it does make. And it's just, it's overwhelming to know and get to meet so many incredible supporters and donors, volunteers and friends that have been along for this ride, you know, helping us do what we do today.
So, what is the most rewarding part of being president and CEO of Easter Seals Ontario?
You know what? Continuing to see the smiles on the kids' faces, and getting to meet the families, that's a key driver for me. You and I both have had a chance to experience the Easter Seal Camp programs, and for me, even at this stage of my life, getting the opportunity to go back to the camp, visit the counselors, visit the campers, watching them participate in the variety of different activities that they get to do each and every day. That is really what drives and makes me feel great. But also seeing and feeling the passion that our entire organization, all of our team members have. I can't think that there's not one individual that is within our structure that is not there because they don't believe in what we do. Everybody is passionate about their care for the kids, ensuring that we do whatever we can to raise the funds to get these kids everything that they need to be successful.
Do you have any advice for kids and youth with disabilities that would help them maintain a positive attitude, especially through these challenging times?
Well, no doubt, and as you said, COVID has really thrown a curveball for all of us. And our abilities to continue, as you said right out of the gate, follow your dreams. But never has it been more important to stay close contact with your network, whether it be family members, whether it be your friends. Make sure that you continue to communicate to the best of your ability, reaching out, talking about what's going on, sharing, whether it's good, bad, or different, just making sure that you're able to continue to communicate. Stay as active as you possibly can within the limitations of what we can and can't do is also incredibly important. Because again, especially living with a disability, we know that if we're not using our legs, if we're not using our arms, or we have a tendency to tighten up a lot more. So we need to keep ourselves going as best as we possibly can. And but again, staying in contact with your friends, and whether it's through gaming opportunities or just social media, whatever it is, and not be afraid to reach out. That's the key. We're all there to support each other, and we'll continue. And so it's just a matter of making sure that we do whatever we can to keep those lines of communication. And if you've got a friend who you haven't heard from, don't be afraid to reach out to them. They will appreciate it as much as you reaching out to them as them reaching out to you.
Yeah, and I think that's been important for me during this time, is to keep reaching out to people that I haven't seen in 2 years because of the pandemic. So those are all the questions I had. Is there anything else that you would like people to know about the organization or anything that you do in your work?
The exciting thing about Easter Seals Ontario, we're going to be celebrating 100 years in 2022, so next year. And so we're incredibly hopeful that this pandemic will give us the opportunity to get out and celebrate throughout the entire province and share the great things that we do. Being around for 100 years is no easy feat, but the impact and the difference this organization has done, and through the support of individuals like yourself, Casey, it's been amazing. And, I want to see us continue for the next 100 years and continue to do what we can to make a difference for kids with physical disabilities, helping them achieve and to follow their dreams and goals.
Thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Disability Den. I'm your host, Casey. This podcast has been brought to you by the Disability Channel and is made possible by the introduction to the Accessible Content Production Program in partnership with Mohawk College and Our Limited. Thank you so much for joining us, Kevin, and continue to keep up the good work with Easter Seals Ontario.
And you as well.
Thank you.